Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the 3 by the Sea podcast. My name is Kim, and I am 1/3 of 3 by the Sea Designs. My mom, Dreama, my sister, Becky, and I have a shop, and we sell knitting and crochet related items. We make project bags, stitch markers, progress keepers, and occasionally we put other fun goodies in the shop. You can find us on Instagram at 3 by the Sea Designs. You can find us on Facebook, and also we have a private Facebook group called the Mermakers that you can join. That's a lot of fun. You can email us at 3bytheseadesigns@gmail.com, and you can find us on Etsy also. You can message us there if you have any questions, or you can check out our shop. So last week we did a shop update. And there are a few things that we did not have a chance to add because they hadn't come in the mail yet. So I'm going to talk to you today about those. It's just a few things. And then I'm going to share my 2022 knitting plans, goals with you. And then I'm going to show you some things that were gifted to me for Christmas or things that I bought. Because the last episode, episode 1, I did not have time to show them at the end because the video was so long. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have your knitting or crochet project and settle in and grab your drink. I've got my coffee. It's always something, I swear. I don't know if you can hear the construction truck outside. But every time I sit down to record, something has happened. It's been crazy. So I apologize for any background noise or if my dog barks because he's a Chihuahua and he's not super yappy, but he does bark when someone knocks on the door or he hears a weird noise. Okay, so sorry for that ramble. Let's go ahead and get started on shop news. Let me put this down. So today is Friday, January 21st, and last weekend we updated our Etsy shop with our first update of the year, and it's a Valentine's themed update, and so we added project bags and stitch markers, and you guys have been loving it, so thank you so much for all of your orders, and it's definitely kept us busy this week. But I wanted to show you a few of the things that we will be adding in today. I'm not going to wait until tomorrow because I have some things going on over the weekend and I thought, why not? Let's just update today. It's only a few things, progress keepers and stitch markers, but they are just so adorable. So the first things that we have are these super cute little love sheep. So there's a pink one and a white one. And they have little hearts on their hind parts. Just so cute. Some winter hats with pom-poms. There's a white pom-pom and a pink pom-pom. The hat part is the same on both of them. They're a metal enamel with little pom-poms on them. I know these aren't super clear. Well, that might be a little better if I hold them back. But they'll be really detailed pictures on our Etsy. We got a few clay charms that we added. This is a strawberry chocolate cake with some white icing inside. So adorable. All of the clay charms are very lightweight. They will not hold down your projects at all. This one I think is my personal fave. It is a box of chocolate hearts. So adorable. There's a pink one and this one has a gold foil on it. Just to describe it for you because I know they're not super clear. We have some donuts. a red one with purple hearts, and a purple one with red hearts. We'll probably make these a set of 2. We have another cake. This one has 2 little hearts on top, a pink one and a cream colored one, and then the cake is the same colors, well, a lighter pink, and then a cream with some icing in the middle. Valentine's cake. Show it to you. It's a chocolate cupcake with white icing. It has red hearts. The hearts are sparkly. So we have one with red hearts. And we have one with pink hearts. So those are all of the things that we're going to add to the shop today. They will be available on Etsy. And I love them. I think they are so cute. I really think this one's my favorite. The box of chocolates. Which one's your favorite? Comment and let me know. All right, so now let's talk about my knitting plans for 2022. A little bit of background about my knitting adventure. I learned to knit a few years ago. My sister Becky and my mom, Dreama, they taught me how to knit. And but I've never really made a plan as far as what I wanted to knit. I just sort of saw a pattern and thought, ooh, that's pretty, I want to make that. You know, I started with the basics. In the beginning, I'd knit dishcloths, and then I moved on to like a small shawl, and then I learned how to make socks, and I knit a lot of socks now, but I really want to move on to a little bit more. I feel like I've taken my knitting skills to the next level as far as not really a beginning knitter anymore and more in the intermediate zone. So I want to take my knitting skills even further, and I want to knit some garments and just things that I haven't knit before. Of course, I'm going to knit socks. I've already made a plan for the socks that I want to knit for this year, and it's quite a bit, but I also want to try some new things. So Amy from, what is the name of her podcast? Noble Character Crafts. She does this Make 9 board. So last year she hosted a make along called the Make 9, hold on, I wrote it down. Make 9, well, last year's was the Make 9 2021 Mal. This year's is going to be the Make 9 2022 Mal. So the idea is you pick 9 projects and you make a grid, like a photo grid. I'm going to pop mine up here because I made a couple of them, but let me backtrack. So you pick 9 patterns that you want to make, and you put them in this grid. Now you don't have to do that. That's just a visual representation of the things that you want to make. It kind of gives you some inspiration, but you could write them down. You could keep them in your knitting journal, in your planner, however you want to keep track of your knitting. So I want to talk to you about my Make 9. I got a little bit ambitious for this idea because I've never planned out my knitting before, like at the beginning of the year. And I thought this is such a wonderful idea to take part in and to kind of wrap your head around all of the things that you want to knit, and hopefully you'll have time because you're planning it out much better than, or at least I will be. So I actually made 3 Make 9 boards. I made one just for socks. I made another one for garments, and then I made a third one for accessories. And I think we'll start with socks because that one it's not that I'm the most excited about that one, but that one is sort of the easiest for me because I know how to make socks. So now I will say I'm not going to commit myself to make all of these things because 3 boards at 9 projects per board. That's 27 projects. I don't know that I could knit that many in one year, but it at least gives you a place to start. And so I'm not going to put that pressure on myself to make all of these things. If I get to half of them, that would be great, but at least I have a starting point to where I want this year to go. And it gives you a lot of inspiration when you start looking around at things that have been in your queue, or maybe you've saved, in your favorites, or, things that were on your wish list to make. It gives you some inspiration to actually get those things done. So let's talk about my sock Make 9 board first. All right, so I'm gonna put a picture up here of my sock Make 9 board. These are all patterned socks. Normally I've knit socks with a pattern before, but I want to knit more of them because normally I just do a plain vanilla sock or I do like a tiny simple pattern, and I love the look of patterned socks, so I want to make more of them. So the first one that I'm going to make for my Make 9 board are the Lattice topped socks by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears podcast. The reason why I want to try these is because, I love the design that she put on them, but she introduced a new heel technique that she came up with, and I really want to try this heel because I love a traditional heel flap and gusset, but I'm always looking for new things to try with the heel, and I'm not crazy about, I've tried a Fish Lips Kiss heel, I've tried an Afterthought heel, and I'm not super crazy about those, so I want to try new things, anything to do with socks. The next socks that I want to make are also by Kay Jones, and they're called the Floofy House Socks. These are a DK weight sock, and she holds them together with mohair. They just look so soft and squishy, and I don't think they're meant to be worn out like in your shoes, but that's why she calls them the house socks. But I've been wanting to make these since she came out with that pattern, and I think they're just beautiful, so I'm going to make those. The next ones that I want to make, which I bought this pattern months ago last year, and I never made it, but they're the Sportster socks by Plucky Knitter. They use 2 colors. I just like the look of them. They're shorties, and I think that there's a different kind of cuff that she uses. I don't know if it's I don't know what kind of cuff it is, but it's not like a traditional ribbing cuff. It looks different, so I'm excited to make those. And then the next ones are the Mix and Mingle socks, and they are also by the Plucky Knitter. And these, again, for the same reason, the technique on the toe and just the way that they're designed, they're just different. They're not, they don't look like a very complicated pattern, but I love the look of them, so I want to make those also. All right, next is the Downton socks by Crystal T Knits. I love how dainty and delicate these look. They are not a long sock. They look more like an ankle type sock, so I just thought that they were really pretty. I loved the pattern, and I've been wanting to make one of her patterns for a little while now. So those are the Downton socks. And then I want to make the Soda Water socks by Yucca. I found these a long time ago. It's a free pattern. I've had the pattern forever, but I just like the look of the pattern design on it. And these are knit. I mean, you can knit them with different colors, but I'm going to try it with all one color. Okay, so then I want to make the Christmas Pudding socks by Stone Knits. These are an adorable Christmas sock and with some color work. Now, typically I don't like doing color work on socks because I've tried it in the past and I was just kind of scarred because I knit a whole sock and then it didn't fit. And I know there's some techniques that I think I was knitting too tightly because it was color work. So I know you can go up a size needle, and there's things that you can do to counteract the tightness of the knitting. But so I'm going to try it again. It's not color work all the way down the sock, I don't think. I think it's just at the top and the bottom. So I thought, they're just absolutely adorable. I love those. And then keeping in theme with Christmas, I also want to make the Lumberjack socks by Renee Kies. I hope I'm saying that right. These are like a plaid looking sock, and I thought they looked so Christmassy and festive. You could change them up and make them into completely different colors to where they don't look Christmassy at all, but I loved the red, white, and black ones that are in her pictures. And then the last socks I'm going to make are, well, not necessarily in this order, but the last socks on my Make 9 board are the Modern Rainbow Socks number 2 by Knitty McPurly. I love again, this is adding some color in. It's not color work, but you stripe them on the leg part, and then I think you stripe them again on the toe or near the toe. So I already have the yarn for those. So what was I saying? Okay, sorry, I had the sneezes. So the Modern Rainbow Socks number 2, I love the detail on them. I already have the yarn for them. I got it from her before Christmas. I ordered it on her website. So I'm going to make those. So that is my Make 9 sock board. The next sock board that I want to show you is my garment board. Now, I have made I've made one garment that's finished, and then I have another garment that is almost finished except for one of the sleeves. I'll talk about that whip in another episode, but I have made a couple of garments, but I really want to focus, like I was saying, I want to focus this year on making garments. So the first one that is on my Make 9 board is the Sea Glass Sweater by Wool and Pine. Now, the Wool and Pine came out with the Sea Glass Tee, I want to say last year in 2021, and it's been widely popular. I've seen so many people making it on Instagram, and I love the look of it. But then, just like I think in the next few days, or maybe even it's already out, I don't know, they came out with the Sea Glass Sweater, which is a long sleeve version, and it's also a DK weight. So the sweater is a great way to use up any stash that you have, any scrap yarn that you have, any minis that you have, and I just love the look of it, the mosaic look of it. I think it's beautiful, so I want to make that. And then also another sweater by Wool and Pine is called the Snow Pine Sweater, and this one is going to be a new technique for me. It's the way that it's constructed, and I just love the look of it. It looks like a raglan sweater. It has different color sleeves than the body, and there is some color work in it. I don't know yet. I haven't bought the pattern, but I want to make the Snow Pine sweater. I think it's beautiful. The next one is the Radvent Cardigan by Ambah O'Brien. This is it's a fingering weight cardigan. You use 2 colors, and you can also use mohair. Hold it with mohair. I love the way that this is constructed because you start with the sleeves and you work your way up, and so you do both. You basically work from the outside in, and I thought that was really cool. So and that one is another one that you can use minis with or scraps. Your Advent. She came up with a whole series of patterns that you can use to use your Advent calendar on. The next one is the Ginny cardigan by Andrea Mowry. This is a DK weight cardigan. There's a couple of different versions of it. There's one that ties, that goes around your waist and ties in the front. And then there's one that you can make that's just like a plain regular cardigan. I really like this one, and I definitely want to make that one. And I think that one is a DK weight. I don't know if I said that. The next one is the Sirene by Leah Chapman. This this sweater, I don't know if I'll actually make this sweater, but it looks beautiful. It is sort of a faded sweater, and to me it looks very mermaidy, and I don't know what kind of yarn I would use for it, but some type of fade would be really cool. I don't know. I feel like you could get really creative with it. I just thought it was really beautiful, and I don't know that I'll get to it, but it's definitely on my list of things I want to make. Next is the Audrey sweater by Knitty McPurly. This is a worsted weight short sleeve pullover sweater that I actually want to make for my daughter, Olivia. Sorry about the noise. I want to make the Audrey sweater for my daughter. I've made her lots of socks, but I have never made her a garment before. So, and she saw a picture of it and really liked it, so I think I'm going to make that for her. And then I have the Southwoods by Sharon Hartley. I love the look of this sweater. It's got some different kind of designs, elements to it. The back is sort of open and it has this lace work in the back. And then the bottom of it also has some lace work on it too. I thought that was really pretty. The April tank top by Carolyn Day. I love the look of this. It's like a racer back kind of look to the tank top. And I know that living in Florida, I will get a lot of use out of that one. And then the last one on my Make 9 garment board is the V-back tee by Jamie Hoffman. This is also a fingering weight tee. You can wear it front, like you can wear the V in the front or in the back, which I thought was really cool. You can fade in different colors with it too, or you could make it in all one color. So there's lots of options with that. So that is my Make 9 garment board. Now, last, I'm going to talk about my Make 9 accessories board. This one has just all of the different things that I've been wanting to make for a while, and I just haven't gotten to yet. So things like shawls, blankets, little things. We'll go over it now. So, okay, the first thing is the Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart. This is a fingering weight blanket. I'm sure you could modify it to make it any weight that you wanted, really. You could probably hold it double with mohair or with Surrey alpaca, which would be lovely. I have no idea what I'm going to use yet, other than I know I have a ton of minis and a ton of scraps that I want to use with it and make it like a scrappy project. I may even hold something double with it. I don't know yet, but I know that I'm definitely going to be making that blanket. The next thing is the Radvent Cowl, also by Ambah O'Brien. This is a fingering weight. You hold it with mohair. Again, you can use Advent minis, scraps, anything that you have laying around that you are wanting to use, or you can make it all one color. I love how it's shorter in the back than in the front, so it goes smaller on your neck and then kind of like a V shape down into the front. I love the structure of it. Number 3, the Bits and Bobs blanket by Kay Jones. So this is, again, I've never made a blanket before. I've crocheted a blanket, but I've never knit a blanket. So the Bits and Bobs blanket is, you hold 2 fingering weights held double. I have made the Bits and Bobs cowl before, and I really loved making that. I thought the stitches were just so fun. And so I bought when I made the cowl, I bought the blanket pattern, but I never made the blanket, so that is on my list. Okay, so number 4. This is called Forest for a Tree Skirt by Settlers Grove Designs. So I have been, ever since I learned how to knit, I've been wanting to make a Christmas tree skirt. And I talked to my sister about it, and she's like, well, why don't you just make one that, like quilt one? And I thought, that's a really good idea. I know when we were growing up, we had my mom made a quilted sort of patchwork looking Christmas tree skirt that she still has, and it's beautiful. And so I eventually will make something like that, maybe during the summer when I'm around my mom more. I can work on something quilted, but I'm going to make a knitted one as a backup, and if I ever have an additional tree, like a Christmas tree, I will use it on one of those. So I found a pattern, the forest for a tree skirt, and I really liked the design of it. I am going to change the colors a little. I mean, I'm going to use red, green, and white most likely, but it's not going to be as bright. They're going to be more subtle colors, and I think it'll look really pretty. I'm excited about that. Number 5, the Lacy Advent Cowl by Crystal T Knits. This is a fingering weight cowl, and it's designed, I believe it's designed to use 12 different minis. I thought it was really pretty. I love how each section has a different stitch pattern, and I've made cowls similar to something like this before, but I've never knit any of the patterns by this designer, and she has a podcast actually. I want to say her name is Tara. I've watched a few of her episodes, her more recent ones, and I haven't gone back and watched any of the older ones, but she makes some really beautiful patterns, so definitely check her out. Okay, the next thing is the Leftover Scrunchie by Jay Chang. So this is, I want to make some scrunchies. I thought this was such a cool idea. You can use scraps. I believe it calls for a DK weight, but you could hold 2 fingering weights together. And I just think they're so cute. And these would be such great gifts to give my sisters at Christmas time. So the next thing is the Sweet Pea Hat by Dana Ray Makes. Now, I have knit another hat by Dana. I just finished it actually, and I showed it on the first episode, called the Scattering Petals hat, and I loved it. I got this pattern, the Sweet Pea Hat pattern, in one of the Yarnable subscription boxes last year. It was given as a pattern you can download, and I can't wait to make it. I believe it's DK. Let me look. Yes, it's a DK weight. I want to put a pom-pom on it. I just think it's so beautiful. I love the like lace work that I just love everything about it. So I cannot wait to make that one and pick out some pretty yarn for it. The next thing is the Winter Ridge 2-color poncho by Catherine Ashley Wright. So this is a poncho that you use fingering weight and you use mohair, but you don't hold them together. You stripe them, and it gives you that sort of striped look. And it's just a poncho. It's just something lightweight. I figured with a fingering weight and then with just the mohair, this will be perfect to use in Florida. So I want to make that. And then the very last thing is actually not a knitted item. It is a crocheted item. It's called the Lost in Time Shawl by Joanna Lindahl. And it is so beautiful. I saw Cherie from the Ollie and Bella podcast. I recently found her podcast a couple of months ago, and I have been going back and watching all of the older ones. I thoroughly enjoy that podcast. I cannot recommend her enough. She makes some very beautiful things, and she's so sweet. And so when I saw her make this shawl, I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. There's so many different things you could do. You can make it all one color. You could use something faded, and which is my plan. I would like to fade from a darker to a lighter color, or vice versa. There's just so many different things you could do with it. So I don't know that I will. It's probably not as hard to crochet as it looks, but I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I will definitely give it a try. And Cherie's podcast gave me the inspiration to try it sometime this year. Okay, so that is all 3 of my Make 9 boards, and like I said, these are so ambitious, these ideas, and 27 things. I know 9 of them are socks, and socks go fairly quickly, but I have to be realistic and know that I probably can't knit all of them, but it's, you know, certainly something that I'm going to aspire to, and we shall see. So that's it. If you want to make a Make 9 board, you can go follow Amy from Noble Character Crafts on Instagram, or go look at her YouTube channel, and she talks about what her Make 9 board was. It was very inspirational to watch, and there's a make along that I think is the whole year. So it'll be fun to participate in that and sort of, you know, rally each other to get these things that we've been wanting to make forever, actually get them on the needles and get them finished. So I'm very excited about all 3 of these things. I'm not sure about the order that I'm going to go in with these. The way that I listed them out to you is not necessarily the order that I'm going to make them in, but we'll see. And hopefully you guys will stick around with me for future episodes so you can see some of the things that I am working on. And the lighting is getting a little bit sort of washed out at this point in the day because it's late afternoon, but I want to show you some of the things that I got for Christmas and some of the things that I purchased also. For Christmas in 2021, I got the Mowry Woolgoods Advent calendar, and if you watched episode 1, you saw the hat and cowl that I made with the minis, and day 25 was a full skein, so I wanted to show you how beautiful it is. This is her logo, and this was day 25. Called Merry and Bright. This is her yak sock base, so it's 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, 10% nylon. And I believe she has this base in her shop. I don't know about all the time, but I really loved this color. I love the little pop of purple right there. So I can't wait. I have no idea what I will make with this, but that was day 25. I also got another advent calendar. It was a 12-day advent calendar from Rose Hill Yarns. And I have been wanting to get my hands on some of her yarn for a long, long time. That was her card that came with it. I don't think there was a specific theme, but it did also come with some sock patterns, which I thought was cool. Oh, I'll show you actually. It came with the Mini Party Sock Collection. So that'll be fun to make those. And like I said, this was a 12-day calendar. Here are some of the colors that came with it. I love her yarn. It's really, really pretty. If you follow us on Instagram, you saw me post these in the stories every day. A really pretty silver and a very light pale green. And actually, I was a little bit surprised because 2 of the skeins were 50 grams. So like a really pretty red and green. You could almost fade some of these too because they were a lot of red and greens. Very, very pretty. I really liked it. I wish there had been a few more variegated colors in there because I feel like Rose Hill Yarns is known for her beautiful variegated yarn and speckles. So I was a little bit disappointed that there weren't more of those. It was mostly solids, but they're still beautiful colors and I will use them, and I am very happy with them. Another Advent I got, the second 12-day Advent. So I got Mowry Woolgoods full 25-day Advent, and then I got 2 12-day Advents. and Rose Hill Yarns was one of them, and then Storyweaver Yarns was another one. I believe she has an Etsy shop. And the theme for her advent was Christmas in Narnia. And that was the card that came with it. And all of the names were listed out for each day. And it also came with this cute little bookmark. But the minis in this are absolutely beautiful, and I might make the Crystal Tea Knits cowl that I was talking about earlier with these minis. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. But look how beautiful these are. This one I think was my favorite. It's called Turkish Delight. I think that's the only one I can remember the name of because she didn't individually label them on the actual minis themselves, but just so pretty. I would love to have more of her yarn, and I would probably get another advent calendar of hers because it was really pretty. This really pretty purple one, it actually came with a little progress keeper too. It doesn't look purple on camera, but it's like a light sort of lilac-y. It has blue in it too, but I know that she is on Instagram and Etsy as well. Really, really pretty. So I think I'm gonna make the, did I show them all? Oh, I missed one. I do think I'm gonna make that cowl with these because they are just gorgeous all together. There was a full skein with the Storyweaver Yarns 12-Day Advent that was a really nice surprise actually. I was expecting 12 minis, and then she gave on the last day a full skein, or it wasn't even the last day, it was just an extra that she put in there, and it's beautiful. So this will make something very pretty. I don't know what, but it's gorgeous. I have found that my color palette for yarn has changed over the last few years. I started off with very bright, vibrant, neon-y colors. That's what I always gravitated towards. And over the last few months, I've really been enjoying more muted colors, more earthy tones. And I'm like, who am I? Like, these are not colors that I normally knit with, but it's just changed. And I still love all of those bright, fun colors, but I've just noticed that my color is changing a little bit. I don't know. Does that happen to anyone else? Has that ever happened to you guys? My sister gave me a skein of yarn, actually from Rose Hill Yarns. Grab that. And this is what I was talking about, how she is known for her variegated colors. This is called Holiday Peppermint. And it is a fingering weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And of course I'm gonna make socks with these. I love it. All right, so my mom gifted me this beautiful Christmas skein from Holly Press Fibers. It's called Cornish Sleigh Ride. Gorgeous. And it is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend. Beautiful. And then she also gifted me this skein from Anna Knitter. It's called Plum Tree, and it's sparkly in there. All that sparkle. Gorgeous colors. I don't know if Anna has any of these in her shop. I think she hasn't. No. Well, she may still have her Etsy shop, but I know she has a website now. So this is 71% wool, 24% polyamide, which is nylon, 5% polyester, which is, I believe, the sparkle. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it's a fingering weight, I believe. Looks like a fingering weight, but it doesn't say. Gorgeous. I've never had any of Anna's yarn, so. This is from Old Wire Road Fiber Co. in the colorway Tree Farm. My mom gave me this one as well. This is Classic Sock 7525 Superwash Merino Nylon, fingering weight. Beautiful. And then the last one my mom gave me is from Northwoods Fiber in the colorway Aspen. No, I love this colorway name. Malikalikimaka. Beautiful. That's one of my favorite Christmas songs too. I've never knit with this dyer either, so I'm excited for all of these. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors. See, these are normally the colors that I go towards, like these bright purples. Purple is my favorite color, and pinks, sort of magenta looking colors. Those are usually the colors that I go towards, but which I still love. They're beautiful. My boyfriend got me 2 skeins of yarn from Mowry Wool Goods for Christmas. This is in the colorway Spooky Forest. This is her Classic Sock 7525 Superwash Merino Nylon. Gorgeous grays and greens. It's almost yellow looking there. It's beautiful. And then he got me this one. This is on her DK base. Look at those beautiful speckles. And this is called She'd Been Drinking Too Much Eggnog, which is really a very fitting name for this because it looks like eggnog. It's beautiful. This is, I think I said this is DK. 100% superwash merino, 250 yards for 115 grams. It's so soft and squishy. I just love it. No idea what any of these are going to be used for. A lot of it will probably be socks. I don't know. We'll see. All right, the last yarn I want to show you is the Knitty McPurly yarn that I said that I purchased for the Modern Rainbow number 2 socks. This is the sock set that I want to say she used this with the pattern. I love the colors. I don't have any pink socks, I don't think. Have I ever knit pink socks? Not like a solid pink like this, like a tonal. So this is the Modern Rainbow sock set. This is on her Frankfurt fingering 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's a 100 gram skein and 5 10 gram minis. So I think those socks are going to be so fun. So I believe that's it for yarn. So in addition to my Make 9 sock board that I made, I also decided that I am going to use my Yarnable box subscription to make a pair of socks every month. So for January, this was the Yarnable colorway for January called Bougie New Year. This is from the Yarnable subscription box by Hypnotic Yarn. I talked a lot about it in the first episode for the monthly subscription. So I think I'm just going to make, since all of the 9 socks on my Make 9 board are pattern socks, I think for these I'm just going to do either a super simple pattern or just plain vanilla. So that is what I will be immediately casting on next. And each month when I get them, I know it's already late January, so I have to go quickly with these. So these will probably just be plain vanilla. But every month when I get my Yarnable box, my plan will be to cake them up and start a plain vanilla sock with them. And that can be my car line knitting that can be, you know, on the go. Just something, if I want something simple and easy to work on, plain vanilla. So that's that for my immediate cast on plans. There are a few things that I need to finish first before I even get started on my Make 9 boards. I finished my Scattering Petals cowl last night, and I will show it on the next episode, which will probably be in a week. And then I've been working on my Nomadic Knits 12 Days of Knitmas shawl that I showed also. And I finished one of the socks that I was working on last week also. So I will show all of that on the next episode. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope that my Make 9 boards have inspired you all to make some type of plan for your knitting this year. If you have already made one, or if you plan to make one, or if you just have some ideas for what you want to knit or crochet this year, leave a comment and let me know what you guys are going to be making. I know that when I see other people, other knitters, showing off what their wish list is and what their knitting dreams are, I know I get inspiration from that. So I hope this has brought you some inspiration as well. And that's it for episode 2. Thanks so much, guys. And don't forget about our shop update. Or not our shop update, but we're adding those few things that I showed you earlier into the shop. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.